Good afternoon, Barstow. I'm Elise, and I'm joined today by my cousin Mimi.
I'm glad to be here. Elise, since you graduated Barstow in 2018, how does it feel to be back, and what do you miss most?
It definitely feels a little strange to be back, but I'm glad. And I definitely miss the teachers the most. Being in college, Barstow teachers are still some of my favorite. So Mimi, do you want to start us off with some announcements?
That sounds great. The robotics team starts their building season today from 3:30 to 5:30 in room 104. They will continue building on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays through March 11th. Good luck, robotics, on your season.
Beginning yesterday, the 2-week online learning option is now in place. Students who choose this option will be attending school online every day and opting out of extracurricular activities until January 21st.
Due to the recent COVID surge, the Battle of the Brains Awards ceremony has been postponed. The Barstow Upper School Engineering and Design students are top 20 finalists in this competition.
This year, Barstow sports have also been heavily impacted by COVID. Our sports reporter Jordy is live in the gym to give us this week's update on basketball. He will also recap the Chiefs season. Let's head over to him.
What's up, Barstow? I'm Jordy, and today I'm going to be talking about Barstow sports in the NFL. First, let's roll the intro. In basketball news, both the boys and the girls basketball games have been canceled for today and Friday due to COVID concerns. I hope that all the athletes stay safe and healthy. Now on to NFL news. This past weekend was the last week of NFL games, and it was very eventful. The most important game was between the Chargers and the Raiders. The winner of this game received a playoff spot, and both teams battled it out for 4 quarters and overtime, and eventually the Raiders won by a field goal. Luckily for the Steelers, the Raiders won, because if the game ended in a tie, both the Chargers and the Raiders would have made the playoffs. In more important Kansas City news, the Chiefs came back against the Broncos on Saturday and won the game, securing the 2nd seed in the AFC. This Chiefs season has been extremely exciting, going from a 1-2 record to start the season to a 12-5 record to end the season. Let's watch this piece I made about Barstow students and teachers' predictions for the Chiefs' ending record. A few weeks ago, I went around Barstow and asked students how they think the rest of the Chiefs season will go. Let's go and see what their predictions were and see if they matched up with reality.
I think that the Chiefs are going to win every game except for the Chargers game. I think it's going to be a toss-up, and they're going to end 12 with 12 wins. They're going to end with 12 wins.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl. I think they'll be
Because,
successful.
You know, the Buccaneers started out the same way we did, so we're going to win.
Yeah.
We're gonna win, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna go to Super Bowl and they're gonna win 100%.
20,
Without a doubt.
20 for 4, whatever.
Yeah, the record's obviously gonna be 20-40, obviously.
For real.
Yeah.
For real, for real.
For real.
I think they'll win.
I think it's horrible. Okay, go.
They're going to suck.
I think they're going to suck too.
I think they're going to win every game rest of the season. I think it's going to be Chiefs and, I'm going to say the Packers. Chiefs-Packers.
They'll probably win every game between now and the end of the season and win the Super Bowl just to torment me and cause me emotional pain because I need more emotional pain in my life. And then I have to walk around here in the hallways and everybody go, hey, how are the Raiders doing? So yeah, just for me, the Raiders will probably win out the rest of the season.
They're gonna win the Super Bowl.
No, I don't think so.
Wait,
I think
wait.
they're gonna lose.
The Chiefs are gonna beat the Raiders, and then we're gonna win the Super Bowl. And we're totally gonna win. And we're gonna be awesome.
I think so, too.
Yay.
I think the rest of the Chiefs season is going to go fantastic. I think they're working through their problems on the defense. They proved it the last few games. I think the offense, Mahomes is going to be able to really pull them all together, and I'm very hopeful. I'm going to say probably our overall record this year, I'm just going to go 10 out of 16 victories.
So Mimi, are you excited to watch the Chiefs in the playoffs?
I most definitely am. I hope my family and I will be able to watch some of the games together.
I'm with you on that. Well, hopefully they can make it that far in the playoffs. So moving on, I remember checking my Barstow for my grades. Do you still do that?
I definitely do. Here's a piece by Izzy on the positives and negatives of being able to easily view your grades.
The good thing about seeing the grade book in my Barstow is that you know when your assignments need to be turned in, you know if you have a missing assignment. I would say the bad is probably the stress, because you see all these assignments stack up and you see them come up more and more.
I really like being able to see test scores as they're graded and like being caught up with everything, but I don't like how my parents have access to my grades all the time and can see things before I see them.
Personally, like being able to see my grades whenever I want to, because it gives me motivation to get them up whenever they're bad, and also seeing my missing assignments is really helpful for me. So yeah, I like being able to go whenever I want and just see how bad or good I'm doing. Negative for me, being able to see my grades all the time, is that I can get over-occupied with it and just stare at them for extended periods of time without really doing anything about it.
As far as negatives, I try to put myself in the position of a student with constant access to grades. I think that there's the danger of obsessing a little bit too much with it, because your grade is not a determination of your soul or your success as a human being. If the grade book says 86.5%, that does not mean that you are a B individual. And so I think sometimes students have a hard time keeping that in mind. It's just one piece of evidence. It's one small part of a much bigger picture that formulates who that person is. I think that one of the positives of having grades accessible 24 hours a day is communication. So much of what we experience at school mirrors what we experience in our daily lives. And when we can communicate openly with one another, it's going to make for a healthier relationship. And when a student is fully aware of their progress in a class, that's going to make the communication between teacher and student stronger and healthier.
Okay, so the pros are, if I'm missing assignments, then I know what they are and I can talk to my teachers about them. But the cons are, I'm failing most of my classes, so I have anxiety.
A positive of being able to see your grade 24/7 is that you can always look to see what your grade is in a class and adjust your strategy accordingly to get your grade up. A negative of being able to see your grade 24/7 is being constantly humbled.
So there are some pros to having your grades available to you 24/7. And obviously a certain amount of anxiety is good. It propels us to study and prepare and to stay on top of it. But the downside can be if that anxiety is too much, that it can, we talk in lower school that we flip our lid when you feel a big strong feeling. So if you have that stress response, you go into that fight, flight, or freeze with too much anxiety, then you can't problem solve, and the amount of overwhelm you feel by the assignments listed or the grades that are up or the grades that aren't up yet can get in the way really of you retaining memories and being able to recall. And so it can be a big issue if the anxiety grows to too great of a place where it actually triggers that stress response. So some tips if you're feeling triggered or you feel like your anxiety is at an unhealthy place or a great place when you're looking at your grades, or if you're feeling a large amount of stress. I would say to maybe limit your access, just a self-imposed limit. So I'm only going to check for my assignments on this and this night, or keep your assignment separately in your planner. This is just if you're someone who has realized this is having a negative effect on your mental health. Additionally, doing that positive self-talk. So yes, this grade is showing up as a 72 right now, but I know I turned in these 3 assignments. They're just not posted yet. This is going to be okay. And then lastly, if you're in a place where you're feeling like your anxiety is getting in the way of your sleep or your physical health or your social relationships, come talk to Mrs. Quintanilla or myself, reach out to a counselor or adult outside of school and get support, because anxiety affects 1 in 4 young people, and probably that number will continue to grow. So it's not something to be ashamed of. It's something that presents itself in our world. So getting yourself support is a brave and good thing to do.
That was a very interesting piece. I agree that it is important to monitor our stress levels and make sure we don't worry too much about grades.
I think that's also a great lesson for college as well.
Well, before we go, be sure to follow BTVN on TikTok at _StowTV and like our first post. We'll be posting lots of behind-the-scenes videos featuring our crew. And if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
It looks like we're out of time today. Thank you so much for having me back. I'm Elise.
And I'm Mimi. We'll see you tomorrow, Barstow.